there. I'm just getting things loaded and straightened. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to be perfect at this, but I am here and I'm with you. And that's what counts. Oh, let's see if I can get this set up a little bit. We can get a different kind of view. Oh, Mickey's told me. Forgot my gloves. Hello, everybody. I'm not going to say it's Mickey, but it's me. Well, we finally made it here. We finally are together. And I do want to thank you. I want to thank you so much. Bear with me. I'm still getting things straightened out as far as the lighting and so on. But I am very happy to be here with you. Very happy. And I'm so happy that you came. I want to just do some shout outs to a couple of people. I met a beautiful person yesterday. Her name is, I think I'm pronouncing it right, Awana. She's a marvelous human being. You know what? She still has that 7-year-old in her. And so as we were talking, I found out we were talking 7 and 5-year-old. It was marvelous. You know, if I'm looking every now and then at the camera, I'm trying to see about the chat. And you have to bear with me because it goes pretty fast. And I slowed it down, being as this is our first live video. And I want to say, I'm so happy that you're here. I want to say hello to people. Hello, Renee. Hello, Kathy. Hi, Tita. Hi, Judy. Hi, Lorna. Hi, Liza. Hi, Joey. Hi, Ricardo Muti. There's a lot of people. I would love to say, let's just say hello to the whole world. I thank you for being here. You know, today is that day that we're going to talk about dimensions. And I did ask you if you would watch a 1-year-old. I wanted to find out. So I'll tell you what, if the chat does not come on, I will get back to you because I really want to know your answers. I am speaking of that age, fetus, until about 1-year-olds. That's an age where things are so natural. Of course, they depend on their parents a great deal, but that's a natural world. They've come from that sack that they've been in, and they've tossed and they've turned, but it's been a natural world to them. And even when the umbilical cord dries up and falls off, that's the lotus that I was speaking of. It doesn't matter. That is a precious age. And I know it's difficult for you to go back to that age, but that's why I had to watch that, the 1-year-old. But I would like to tell you, this dimension really does last until about 5 years old. And then something happens at 5. The world, as a child learns, the world affects them. They are eventually going to school and people affect them. But let me tell you about that dimension. Most people think we see from the eyes, and we do. But when there's light, such as light coming toward me, there are protons that go into the retina. And the retina goes to the back of the brain. And it's that brain that sort of deciphers and picks up how you are viewing. There's the hippocampus also, sort of in the middle of the brain. That's a conundrum for everything. And they're even thinking about Alzheimer's and dementia. And the true way that is becoming more. And it's not just with elderly. So let me try to explain something. We're not going to go over a great deal today because there's so much involved. But as I said, the light comes through the eyes, and the light goes through the retina, and it goes to the back of the brain. And then that back of the brain tries to sort of decipher what they're picking up, what they're viewing. And then somehow it goes through that hippocampus, and that just sends signals everywhere. That's the memory. Oh my, a large memory. That's why memory's still a challenge, because it doesn't dissipate. It may be lost, but there's ways of getting it back. But I don't want to get too far off. I'm still speaking of that dimension from fetus to about 5 years old, when things are so natural. That's a natural dimension that was given to everyone. And no matter what affects you, you can pull back and you know the answers. So I'm trying to get you to understand how you're picking up the world through the eyes, and it's traveling to the back of the brain. And as it travels to the back of the brains, there's neurons, and it's just shuffling, trying to figure out that perfect picture it's getting, big questions. And that's where you get your perception. It's seeing or trying to view what you're seeing. It's sort of like a painter, getting that in alignment. And, so what you're seeing, the world can see. And from all the different things that make up perception with that brain and hippocampus, that's what gives everyone their own perspective. See? That's why some people see things differently than other people. I may see something, you may see something, and it's entirely different. Looking at a magician, you don't pick up everything. Cameras. Sometimes when the police are using cameras, someone will say they're too, something just fell here. They're too hard. And I'm not speaking or taking up for anyone. I'm using this as an example. You don't see everything. You don't see everything because that's just the way the brain is. Now, I'll tell you, when you start doing things differently, pick up something new every day. Do something new every day because it stimulates the brain and you use different parts of the brain. Otherwise, you don't grow. So there are lots of games, such as that one game, Search and Find, or What's the Difference? Right? And that's a lot of fun. Plus, it's helping you because we all don't see the same thing. And that's what I mean by everyone's perspective. So if I can change your perspectives as to how you view this world, then we don't have to keep going over and over and over the same things every year. It keeps us behind. We don't get to the future because a problem that you think you've solved, someone throws it right back out there. And then we have to start over. So it's in the making of fetus to 5-year-olds, usually, that they see so much and they absorb it. And that's why babies' eyes are wide open, especially in that light. And it's hitting the retina and going to the back of the brain. I'm going to take it slow, and I'm going to do a repeat so that you understand what I'm speaking of. So what I want you to do, and looking at that 1-year-old, it may be the next video because I see that something's going not quite right over there. But I'm going to complete what I said I was going to do, and that's to talk about that dimension. I know what happened when you saw that 1-year-old. You were elated. If you judge the 1-year-old, and we got some work to do, let the 1-year-old be the 1-year-old. That little baby, if you saw that perspective or video as to how he was looking at the great Pavarotti, it was amazing. Yes, Pavarotti hit something within. And honestly, that's a good age to start with children. They're geniuses at that age. Up until 5, something happens at 5. And I think the world sort of penetrates to them. You know, they're looking at Disney and the colors and everything's so fascinating that they forget that natural dimension within them. And it's still there. It's just that adults don't want to be children. They think it's silly. It's not silly. I am silly all the time, as much as I can, because that's when you open up that dimension. It's there for a reason. It's okay. If you can wake up one morning holding your feet the way a little baby does and stay that way for about a half second, then you'll understand. But you won't do it because you feel silly. Your wife might be there. Doesn't matter. Become that child again for 1 second. Open up that dimension. It's going to help all of us because we have old renditions of what the world should be. And granted, we grew up with morals. We do have morals and we stick to them. But open up and become a little free. Young people don't know everything, even though they think they do. And older people don't know everything, even though they think they do. We should be learning about perception every day. That dimension should be open. And that's the dimension I'm speaking of, from 1 to 5. Perception. Babies are looking all over. Kids are all over the place. They have so much energy. But you're going by the fact that they're a child. But inside, I remember what was going on. Fascination. Fascination to everything. But I never lost me. Don't lose you. You're still in there. And the reason why you don't want to face it is because if your childhood is full or was full of problems, trauma, and stress, it'll always be there. It's buried. And some people just don't like to go and reach through that pain. They don't want to do that. And I understand that. And that's what psychiatrists are for. And some people think, well, I don't want to do psychiatry. That's not the reason. After this pandemic, I think we all should have gone to psychiatrists, somebody to talk to. And still, I'm hoping that you'll do that. They're there for a reason. That doesn't mean something's wrong with you. You need someone to talk to. I don't care who you are. A lot of things happen during this pandemic. A lot of things that we don't really know because no one's saying. And we're just not finding out what happened at home when everyone was inside the world. I had little birdies knocking at the window. Linda, come on out here. You used to sing to us every day. I did. They wanted us back in their world. And I understand that. We were a part of their world. So it's that dimension full of perceptions. The way you're taking in pictures and things and items, the way you're taking it all in, the way the brain is deciphering through all of that. And there's a lot to take in. And somehow that brain has to make a decision. And it's these decisions, these perceptions that turn into perspectives. That's how we get perspectives. And some are owed and need cleaning, and some need to open the door and let freedom in. Because I think this is why problems from ages ago are still here. They shouldn't be. As I said, if someone that had 5 heads, 14 arms, 30 legs, you would stick closely to someone that had 1 head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. Because you don't understand about, I'm not saying anything would happen. I love monsters. Believe it or not, they're different. And some are good, some are bad. But it's a way you allow your brain to take it in. I know you can't touch your brain, but you can help it by the foods you eat, healthy foods, not putting poison in your system. Hey, you want to do these things as you're older to experiment. I understand. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm simply trying to tell you there is a lost dimension in everyone that is put there to help you in anything you do. But you're so afraid to go far back. Stop it. Stop it. I'm not saying act that way in the world, but when you're at home, that's okay. That child is still inside of you. Get in touch with it. Mine is a 5-year-old, and I love her. She's gotten me through life. And I don't know if you understand what I'm saying by that. But first, you have to reach that 5-year-old or the 7-year-old. I said 5, but there's a child inside of you. And you know what? I can tell. Yesterday, there was a wonderful woman. Her name is Awana, and she's with Blue Cross Blue Shield, the Illinois medical group. I must have been talking for at least an hour with her. And she understood what I was saying. And guess what? I might have repeated this, but my 5-year-old was talking to her 7-year-old. And she said it was inspiring. Hi, Awana. And it was so inspiring to me. And that's what I'm trying to do. I appreciate the fact that you're here, but I really want you to try to understand. It's not a gimmick. I don't tell you anything that I haven't gone through. And as I said, I have been here a long time. I simply want us to understand. So things that have been happening can stop and we can move on to the future. If you don't live around someone, you might be afraid of them. If you don't understand cultures, learn. Don't stop learning because you're an adult. And let children ask questions. They're using the perception. They want to know. They want help to know. We must do this. We have our own answers inside of ourselves. We don't need to blame anybody else. And if you're afraid to reach inside, and I do understand, but it can be done. You can overcome many things. I'm speaking of that dimension. And as I'm looking, it probably was me, but I don't see any chat on. And so since this is the first video and I've made a lot of mistakes that I've learned, and I do thank Google I do thank YouTube for helping me in every way. Hi, Elizabeth. There's so many people I want to say hi to. Now, I'll come right back to the dimension, but I'm going to be doing some impressions and I'm going to be singing some songs of some wonderful people. So I'll still be making videos and putting them online, but we'll have our live talks here. And hopefully, the next session, if I call YouTube or Google or the community, they can tell me what I've done wrong. And I'm terribly sorry if you're out there and you're wanting to ask questions. Hopefully, there's a backup somewhere, but I'm kind of doubting it. However, I am promising you what I said, that I would be talking about dimensions. And that dimension from fetus to 5 for me, that's an important dimension in life. To everyone, you are picking up anything and everything. That's why you have to watch what you say in front of children. That nose was put over your mouth to smell your words first. So words can be very cutting. So if you smell what you're going to say before you say it, you might not say it. Now, I know that some people are not going to understand what I'm saying, and that's okay, because I'm going to slow it down and repeat until you do. Because you're not just a 25-year-old, 45-year-old, 35-year-old. You still have parts of you from childhood inside. And trauma and stress, when you go under that, if you don't understand what you went through as a child, it's too much. And the brain, the brain is an area that is just now being explored more. And let me jump, da, da, da. Okay, stop it, Linda. All right, let me jump over and say, robots. I have a wonderful robot friend. His name is Titan. So watch him on the YouTube stations. I've known him for quite a while. Titan, I love him. He needs some work too, some updated work. But however, don't be afraid, because I think we can interact. See, they can't do a lot of things that humans can do. I think we can help each other. But let's start now. Let's go back and try to understand why we're drinking, why we're turning to drugs. Let's understand that. Oh, it might put some people out of business, but that's okay. We have got to go to the future. I am so ready to get on a hoverboard and zoom. Oh, and if you don't want to be in the air, that's fine too. But I'm ready. I've been ready. I love challenges. I was a bit of a tomboy. I didn't do a lot of girly things. And I'm sort of that way now. It doesn't mean anything. I have a different kind of view. So let's try to really understand what I'm saying. And I'm not going to go fast. I am talking about the fetus stage until 5 years old. All the different things that you're picking up. Perceptions. Everything. And they're hitting that retina and the protons that are coming in, and they're shooting to the back of the brain. Your friend, the brain, make it healthy. Make it able to make decisions and put things in the right area. And you've got to do that by helping it grow. Look at those pictures where it says find the difference. Some of them are not so easy. Play puzzles. Spell backwards. Do something new every day. And you're helping your brain to grow. Another thing that I'm going to just tell you outright, I don't know how long I'm talking, so I've done a lot of things wrong. But I knew I had better be here at 5 o'clock. I am so happy that you came. And if you bear with me, things will turn around. So I'll make up for questions that you had coming in. I'm not quite sure when our next live session will be because I want to be a little bit more ready and now. And believe me, I'm watching videos and I'm learning. It's so inspiring. But what I really want to do, why I have this channel, I want to make an imprint that we can help ourselves. That's what we were put here for. We're like flowers. And stop the nonsense because everybody as an adult knows what's right and what's wrong. And you have your freedom of speech to say what you need to say. But I'm telling you, don't take words too serious. If you know who you are, really know who you are, it shouldn't bother you. Because you know who you are. So, once again, I'm not going to stray too far away because I don't know what's happening out there. But I'm speaking of a dimension that's still within you, but hidden. And you can get it back. And I'm going to tell you some things to do. But first of all, keep watching that 1-year-old. Keep doing things new. Keep spelling backwards, even though it doesn't make sense to you. It's not that easy. You're using different parts of the brain. So when you do take something in, and that brain's trying to get it just right and then send it to the right neuron, it could do it. Eat chocolate, dark chocolate. Eat blueberries. Let's get some fruit in us. Not everything new is good, and not everything old is bad, and vice versa. Be a little bit of everything and be yourself. Don't do things because somebody else does it, your friends. And if you don't have a lot of friends, if you can only count them on your hands, so what? What I'm trying to do is have you go back to know yourself. When I was in school, there was a professor that said, "Gee, I wish I could go back to school." I said, "Why can't you?" Too old. You're never too old. But what you have to do when you go back, put all your worldly things away. Don't be the professor anymore. Be the student so you can learn. You already got your professor career. If you want to go back, become a student, learning, observing. And that's what children do at that age, babies, until 5. And that's why a 5-year-old is like a genius. They've held on to it. And sometimes the world takes it away. And that's a good age for you to start children if what they want to do. I look at the cooks. I look at Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen or the Master Chef for juniors. Those children are brilliant the way they cook. Yes, they've learned to watch their parents or grandparents or what have you. But they cook like professionals, but they're little tots. They still go home and cry and, "Mommy, I want this. I don't want to go to bed." They still do that. I'm not saying that the child's not going to be the child, but they're genius because they've held on to that. You'll start to understand when you start seeing the world differently. You will start doing differently. And we can all get to the future. And I'm very sorry, because I don't know how long I've been talking, but as I said, I'll try for each video to get a bit better. And I know someone's been helping me. And as I said, I thank you, Google, I thank you, YouTube, and I thank you, LinkedIn. And I thank you, world. So one thing, oh, I see it says end stream, so we must be out of time. So one thing we know about that dimension, and we'll talk at another time. Now, I don't know if it's saying in the stream when I'm ready or in the stream now. So I'll finish up and then I'll end the stream. I was sort of rushing to get here today, but I knew I better be on time. When you say something, do it. Do it. I am trying to not at will change you, but to let you know you've left a very important dimension just lying inside of you. You know, sometimes when you are thinking, you just go off in a daze. That's what I'm talking about. That 1-year-old or that fetus to 5, yeah, a lot of children are not focused. They're learning. Their mind is open. Don't close your mind. Don't. Learn. Don't always say something's bad before you know what it involves. And believe me, these gadgets are things that you have to go through. I get very frustrated. I have ADHD. I get very frustrated. But I am learning, calm it down. Dot, 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 dot. The rat. All right. That's rap. That's rap. And I have to learn to understand it. Some I have, some I have not. But I know about all the artists of yesterday, and I know about all the artists of today. And I will never let that go. That's called what they say, roll. Roll with it. I'm rolling with the world. It's when you stop rolling. And if you understood really what was going on inside of you, you wouldn't stop rolling. So I'm here for that reason only, to try and help this world. Because there's a lot of things that we're coming into that are different. Don't let your eyes absorb it and let that brain decipher it as something bad or they're going to hurt us. You don't even know yet. And I'm not saying be stupid and give things a chance so they'll hurt you. I'm saying when you take something in, if you have that healthy brain and help it. And unfortunately, I don't want to say anything, but things that don't help it, drinking, smoking, drugs, because that dimension is natural. And just because you're married, you don't have to give that up. That would help. You're afraid to wake up holding your feet in front of your love? If your love were examining that dimension, you wouldn't be. Why leave these things behind? And that's what got you through. And that's what's going to take you to the end. There's a time for everything. So while you're here, to help all of us get to the future, to stop this nonsense of a repeat world. And as I said, there's no prejudice in children. I wonder who's doing it. This is the nonsense. But if you know you, like I know me, doesn't matter. Say what you will. I'm not putting locks in me. I want to help you understand that is a natural dimension and it has plans for you. It did it one time and you left it, not knowingly, but it's there. I don't care how old you are, it's there. And as I said, we've gone through something. the entire globe. We're just getting back to where we were. That's fine. Granted, that's fine, but that's not the truth. I'm seeing pain and hurt in this world. And if we're still putting band-aids on it, shame on us. I want us to take these band-aids off. I want us to go to the future. So, as I said, I'm a little bit disorientated because I haven't checked anything. And I know my mouth can run so much, but I have enjoyed being with you. And hopefully the next time I'll be able to interact with you. And I don't want to go too fast. But this will be a learning, educational, fun ride. So stay with me if you can. Now, I know you've seen me arguing at the computer as to turn it off. But once again, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. I appreciate you sticking with me. And I'm determined to set you free. I'm determined to set you free. If I didn't experience it and know it, and I've been through a lot, I wouldn't expose it. There are some people that know about that dimension, and they won't tell me. But I am. Because I care about the world. That means I care about you. Thank you, and thank you. And I love you.